Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be replacing the spark plugs on my BMW N55 engine. Now I am going for the one step colder spark plugs on my N55 engine because, as many of you guys would have seen on the previous videos, I am doing a lot of performance mods to this car to get it ready for tuning. Now a lot of you already know, if you're in an N54, N55, to upgrade to these spark plugs right here. These are the one step colder spark plugs that is needed, i.e. before you get a tune done. Otherwise you will run into a lot of problems. Now on the N55 engine, it does require a special socket, which I'm going to be showing you today. You will not be able to use your normal 15mm socket to get in the spark plug hole to remove the spark plugs on this engine. You do need a special tool, and I'm going to be showing you why that is when we go over and start removing the spark plugs. So let's get onto this video and start stripping the engine.
Goddamn, get it done, will ya? Woo. When the blow up now, everybody's so unusual with it. Shit. But said times in his rhymes, cause his memories. We running through New York, so you know.
So we are going to go ahead, guys, and now release all the plastics on the car, because we need to take the engine cover off. We're also going to need to take the strut bar off here to be able to get to the other two spark plugs at the back here, which will be number 5 and 6. And then we're going to need to take off the plastic trim around here as well, which is held on by 3 10mm bolts either side to take off the plastic trim. So we're going to go ahead and sort all that out. We're going to take it all off, and I'm going to show you where the bolts are located, and then we're going to speed up the video while we remove all the trimmings on the car. So the first thing we're going to do is lift up the engine cover and take off the engine cover, just like that. Now after that, what we're going to go ahead and do is just going to take off all the plastics here, as you'll see. I'll take off these, and this just pulls straight out. Now you can remove this plastic piece here as well if you really want to. It's not needed to, but I'd strongly recommend just to pull it off here. You don't need to take it off fully, and just move it out of the way. You're going to need to take obviously your plastic insert foam out of here as well, just like that. And now this is the obviously strut brace right here running along the engine bay, and we're going to have all the 10mm bolts located at the back here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show you everything you need to see. So the first bolt you're going to need to remove is this one right here, and you've got them located in here as well, and one will be underneath the flap. You might have the protectors right here, so you might have to remove that. And you'll also see you've got a 10mm nut right here, another one there, and another one at the back right there as well, which you'll need to remove to take this plastic scuttling out of the way. Now we'll just do the same thing on this side and just lift up that and take that one out. Now to remove all the strut bar over there, you are going to need an E20 torque socket to be able to do that. So I've got an E20, I'm just going to put that on so we can start removing all the strut bar. Then what we'll go ahead and do is remove all the 10mm bolts to get the plastic cover off so we can get access to the full engine bay. Then you're going to want to come up to the top one and just start releasing this one as well, which will release very easily. And then once you've released them, what you're going to go ahead and do is you're just going to unscrew the bolts from here, and you'll see they're about that big, so you're just going to put them in a pot here. Now to get to the one at the back here, you'll just unscrew it by hand with your E20's socket until it comes unloosened, and put your hand in there and get it straight out. Now you'll have access to one of the strut bars already loose. So now we've got to do the same thing on the other side. So for the next one, you're just going to want to release the other strut bar bolt. Then you're going to want to take off the weatherproofing cap right here. Then you're going to want to lock that in as well and get to right angle, try and release it, just like that. That one's released. Now we'll move on to the next one. And then that's the other 2 bolts out of there. So now we've got them both out. Now we can take off the strut bar. So now we're just going to pull forward and take out the strut bar just like that. So now we've got that out. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is target the 10mm bolts at the back here as where I showed you, and it'll be on the same side as well. Now we're going to go to the other side. Now you'll also have a clip like right here which connects to it, which you're going to have to remove, which is right here. We're just going to pull that out, which is right down here, which connects this to this trim piece here. So now we've got another 10mm located here, which I've got to tell you about, which is located just underneath the rubber pieces, which we're going to have to remove as well. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is just lift this out. If you'll see there, and that piece is out now. So now everything's out, we've now got full access to all the spark plug areas. We've only just got this in the way, but that's not going to be a big problem. But we've now got access to every spark plug here on the engine. So we're going to go ahead and start removing all the spark plugs and the coils from the ignition system here. So we do have the new spark plugs, as you would have seen, which are laser iridium NGK premium spark plugs. These are the one-step colder spark plugs that we're going to be installing today. Now, I don't believe the spark plugs have ever been changed. Bearing in mind this has just hit over 100K. I've got a feeling these are going to be on original BMW ones, so I am going to go ahead and change them. So if you come to here, you're going to have your ignition coil, which you're going to have to pull out. Now you're going to want to remember which one goes in what, and then you're also going to have your coil, which you're going to have to be very careful with to pull it out. And you just want to pull it out very easily like that, and then place it to the side. Now, I'm just going to show you the spark plug hole and what I mean by the hole in these. So if you can see just down here in the hole, you'll notice the hole is a lot smaller, and if you can see, it bends to get in there. Now you can't get in there with a normal spark plug socket, as you can see, because it's got a bend on it. Now you need to buy a special tool to remove the spark plugs on the N55 and N54 engine, and it is quite annoying because BMW shouldn't have done this, because to have a special tool just to remove spark plugs, but we have got that, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what tool it is, and I'll also link it in the description below for you guys to go and buy it if you're looking for it, because I actually found this on Amazon, which was a lot cheaper, and actually got two of them, 40mm and a 16mm, to do this job. So therefore I've got two if I ever need to come across an engine that needs it again. So if you can see here, this is the socket you need to get into the spark plug hole. Now on here is a 16mm socket, and if you can see here, it's a thin walled socket, and it's also got like a universal joint on here, but this is a 16mm thin wall socket. So we're going to go ahead and try and place it into the spark plug hole and see if this actually works, because I know a normal socket will not get in there. So this is what you're going to need to remove the spark plugs on an N55 or N54 engine. So I've just managed to get this one in, which is a 14. It wasn't a 16. So we're going to go ahead and just try and turn it out and see what happens, but it should work. So if you see there, that's the spark plug out of the socket. Now we're just going to take them out, and if you'll see there, these are Bosch double platinum. So these have never been changed. These are original manufacturer ones. So we are going to change them to the NGK ones, because these are like completely gone. I will be changing them over because it's long overdue. It's hit over 100K and these need to be renewed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Then what you're going to want to do, if you see here, these magnetically lock in just like that. So you've got them locked in. Then you're going to want to place it back in here and screw them in, and that's tightened down. So now that one's done, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is just reinstall your ignition coil, just like that, and that one's done. Now we'll move on to the next side. just want to clip all your connectors back in, just like that. And then that's the job done. That's all your spark plugs complete. Make sure all your ignition coils are pressed down correctly, all the wires are in correctly, that you're not going to end up with misfires after you put everything back. Make sure everything's in, and that completes the spark plug job on the N55. So now to reassemble the whole engine, it's the reversal of how you just removed it. So we ain't going to explain to you or show you how to do that. I will fit everything back, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll close this video and let the engine run and see how it runs much better now with the spark plugs being changed. Okay guys, so now time for the first start up. Let's go and find out how the car sounds now. The spark plugs have been changed. So let's just go and start it up. Okay guys, so as you've seen there, I've now changed the spark plugs on my BMW N55. Now one thing I will say is when you're doing the spark plugs on this engine, be careful of the injector wires, because when you actually pull the ignition coil, the injector wire plugs can be sitting on top of them, which you can easily pull them out and not realize. Then when you go to start your car, you can end up with bad rough running and misfires. So you saw how simple it was to actually upgrade the spark plugs, and this car, they had never actually been changed. They're really badly carboned up, and I was expecting that, because something a lot of people don't believe they need to know unless the light comes on the dash or a garage tells them to. It's also more expensive than a normal oil change. An oil change takes half hour, spark plugs will take you probably about an hour, a garage will charge an hour and a half labor. So it is a big difference on price. So I hope you've actually enjoyed this video and you've seen now I've upgraded them to the one step colder spark plugs. Thank you very much for watching this. BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.